Yeah. So I will tell you when we go live on the podcast. Right now we're live on our channel. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Political Peasants. Uh, we're making a little bit of a very late call back to our YouTube channel here. But right now we're about to go live on our podcast. We're about to record her for you guys. I obviously we need more content for our channel. So let's start that. Okay, Kenneth?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Political Peasants podcast. We live recording right now for our YouTube channel, so now you're able to see that. From now on, I think this is something that we want to try with Kenneth. But anyways, how you doing, Kenneth? It's been a while. I think it's 2 weeks since the last time we recorded our podcast.
2 weeks? I think it's closer to a month.
I think it's 2 weeks. It feels
It's been a while. It's been a
Yeah, it
while.
feels a while. Yeah. But anyways, so far, in the last 2 weeks, obviously we had some updates for you guys. The COVID cases have calmed down immensely. We're about to talk that later on down the podcast. Also, we have an update for you guys for the George Floyd's case. Obviously, what's going down in Minneapolis, right? The trial,
Yeah.
and so far the verdict came, guilty for Derek Chauvin, right? He was guilty for all three,
All accounts. Yeah.
all accounts, right? He's gonna spend quite a few years in jail, paying for the death of George Floyd, obviously.
I think it was 40.
Um, 40?
40 years, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, justice, came a little bit late by a year, late, but it came nonetheless. So, I'm glad that, there's some peace that could go with their family now that this came upon, and actually, because not a lot of people expect it, right? People mostly expected for Derek Chauvin to go off,
Yeah. I
with
mean,
maybe some slaps in the wrist or something.
they expected the typical, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like
typical.
police officer kills someone, no fault of their own, get away with it. Society says it's okay for them to do it. I mean, you had what's it, Botham John? I mean, there's so many these days. But so I kind of get them mixed up. But the guy who was sitting in his house when a police officer walked in and shot him, she got 10 years. Yeah, the guy walked down the street. He was shot by an ex-police officer, and that guy got off. Well, I think his trial is still ongoing, or it hasn't started yet. But I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
And then you had so many. There's just so many that I don't even remember at this point. Whereas like the police officer, they kill somebody, no accountability, get off, quit usually because of public pressure or people they don't want people to know where they are. Leave, go to another precinct, and then start all over, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, that cycle that unfortunately a lot of police officers get. Once they get in situations where they kill someone who happened to be innocent or had nothing to do with what the call was for. Because most of these calls are just like nuances. Like, I saw someone walking that I don't know from my neighborhood, or maybe a domestic dispute or whatnot.
Right. I mean, yeah, you had that case a couple of weeks ago where the police were called for domestic violence at an apartment building.
Uh-huh.
They rolled up and they arrested the first black guy they saw. And the white guy they were actually called for literally just walked past them and left after the police was called. So it was like, it always happens this way. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but 2 days ago, a video went viral of a police officer who got drunk and started harassing a black guy at a bar. And then, he called for backup for no reason because the guy literally wasn't breaking any laws. He was just sitting there. And then they checked him for warrants and he didn't have any. And I mean, it's an amazing video, really. You see, because alcohol just brings out the truth, right?
Yeah.
So you just see the police officer just talk about how you talk about how tired of y'all attitudes, and I'm here for you, and you guys always have issues. It's crazy. Like it's a really crazy video, but it's the truth. Essentially what most police officers start to think. And it was just this whole thing that started going viral for the black guy literally getting harassed by a drunk police officer in a restaurant in the middle of the day. The police officer was on duty. It was crazy.
Crazy. And I think the new studies have come out one of the top 10 reasons why you might be killed is by a police officer. You could get killed. So that's just in general for all people, but for specifically speaking for African Americans, there is in the top 5. So it's crazy just to think that. Well, it's not crazy because it's been happening for many, many years. It's just because of because of the age we have now, the internet, we can really record everything.
Essentially, you just get to see it. Like that's essentially what's happening. Is that it's like this is nothing new. It's like this is something that I like. If you go back in history, African Americans been talking about like this the dawn of the civil rights era. But it's just now that there's video, everyone gets to see it happen in real time. And it's funny because a lot of people are just like, I'm tired of seeing it. It's like, yeah, well, people are tired of experiencing it. It's like they don't want to experience it. They don't want to show you, but that's what's happening like now. Like they're gonna keep showing you because it keeps happening.
Yeah. And this also was like a heavy topic talk upon yesterday's I think it was the Oscars in 2021. Even though it was the lowest rating they ever got in one, about 9 million people watching the Oscars yesterday night. I to be honest, I didn't watch it, but I saw some clips where like most prominent African American actors and actresses were talking about the experience of being black in the United States, right? And the fact that they had to teach their children, and we had to talk about this in a platform like the Oscars to bring some what's the word for it? To bring some light into the issue and the situation that we see ourselves in right now, right? It's like a we are in a pandemic itself, right?
Right.
But we also have this major pandemic problem where it keeps going on. I think the trial of George Floyd, when we're waiting on the verdict itself that afternoon, when they said, Derek Chauvin has been convicted, he's guilty for all 3 accounts, right? That same day, another guy got shot. Another kid got shot, right?
Right.
Go ahead. No, I think it was the case where the police officer kind of like stopped the kid, and the kid kind of wanted to get off from them.
Oh yeah, he jumped back in his car. It was like 20 years old.
And I think the police officer mistake
I think the taser for the gun for a taser, and then shot him and then killed him. But the thing is that they shouldn't have gotten that far in the first place. And that's really what it is, right? It's like you see that when people talk about like white privilege and being black in the United States, it's mostly just about the double standard. It's like the rules are always different for African Americans for doing nothing. Like you see it all the time. I mean, I remember the first time I was experienced. I saw some of these things happening, which it really like opened my eyes. Like, which is like late. It was late for me, so it was like maybe like when I was 17. It was I don't know if you guys remember, but it was a long time ago, where they had like 5 police officers. It was in San Francisco. They had 5 police officers, and they were all pointing a gun at this one black guy. And they're like, "Yo, put your hands up," and his hands were up. Like his hands were completely up. He was just standing there. They're like, "Put your hands up." For like maybe like 30 minutes, saying, "Put your hands up," all with their guns pointing at him. And then, even though his hands was up and he was doing absolutely nothing, steady, completely still, they all open fired on him and just killed him.
Open fire him.
Yeah, he was like his back was against the wall. His hands were up. He was looking at him. They were saying, "Put your hands up." He was like, "My hands are up. What do you want me to do?" And they still killed him. Him. I was just like, what can you do in that situation? The problem is that being African American in the United States, that's really what it is. It's like you see people are starting to see it now, especially with the whole I forgot the kid who shot up the church. Where you see a black guy doing nothing get shot, but then you see like a white guy, he just shot up a place, kill like 10 people, 20 people, and somehow he'll come out alive almost all the time, right? But the black guy who's done nothing will almost always come out dead, which is ridiculous. And people are wondering like, how come this person? You just had it happen recently with the whole when the guy who went and shot up like multiple locations, killing I think almost like 8 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Georgia, where he went around targeting Asian people, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, he just had a bad day, and they're just like, he just had a bad day. Like he was frustrated. Like, what are you talking about? Like he just went and killed 8 people, but a minority, because not even really just black people, but a minority could literally sit there, do nothing, kill 0 people, and then magically he's a threat to everybody.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like if people are starting to actually see the comparison between the way it's coming out, and they don't like it. Like so
Yeah,
it's
they don't like the truth. They don't like the
right.
how like you could compare both of them, and it goes way overboard to one side, right?
Right.
Because the discrepancy is so realistic, and oh shit, like people see it, and they don't like to face the truth, right?
Yeah. That's really the funny thing about it, because I was having a conversation with my friend the other day, where we're talking about all these people are talking about we can't hide our history, Let's keep up these Confederacy statues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are the same people who are complaining as soon as you start bringing up, oh, white people treat black people like shit in the country, which has been historically true, right? And it's like they're complaining about that, like, oh man, why we gotta talk about that? I was like, wait, I thought you didn't want us to hide our history. And the thing is that the Confederacy isn't even a part of the United States. It wasn't even a part of the United States. So it's like the fact that you're willing to keep up statues of another country, right? Because the Confederacy was another country in the United States, but not talk about the history of the United States, which caused that part of the country to break off in the first place, is amazing. Like it just shows you that the hypocrisy and the double standards African Americans have to deal with.
And it's begun to become well, not tiring, because right now we're covering these cases and whatnot, and then the next day we have to cover another one and another one and another one.
Yeah.
Because we never really like to put light on the real root of the problem, right?
Yeah.
We always go from one hashtag to another to bring justice into someone's.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing
Mm-hmm.
is that people, it's like you see it, but then nothing really happens, because the police will, if change starts to come, right, the
Uh-huh.
police will threaten, like, oh, if you want to change us, cool. I guess we won't show up next time to your event. We won't protect your event next time, and it's
Yeah.
just like, look, these guys are public officers. Like they don't have the choice to show up or not. Like if they
Yeah.
don't show up, they fire their asses like you would anyone else,
Mm-hmm.
right? But for some strange reason, well, we already know, right? It's because of racism. But for some strange reason, the people keep saying, "Oh man, see, we want the police to show up." I'm like, bro, like, can I go into my job and be like, hey, guess what? If I don't get that raise, I guess I won't do this job next time. Like, let that go to any boss, right? Any boss. But hey, if I don't get this vacation time off, I guess next time when you want me to help you fix your computer, I won't fix it. That person will be fired in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But for some strange reason with police, it's just like, yeah,
Mm.
see, we ain't there. We gotta help them out. Like, we don't protect
Yeah.
them. They ain't gonna show up to us.
It's because the system protects them, right?
Yeah, I mean that, and it's like people don't really care if they kill African Americans. That's the thing. Like, I think that's a lot what it comes down to, is that they're just like, hey, it's cheap.
It is what it is.
African American life is cheap. Minority lives are cheap. Screw
Yeah.
it, whatever. Like, so it's like it's the people try to twist themselves
It's
into this
because they
thing
have
of
been.
finding an excuse.
It's because they have been conditioned for so long that it's become a normal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you hear the excuses all the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh well, this person, he shouldn't have did that. He shouldn't have dressed that way. Oh, he looks scary. Oh, he should have
Yeah.
complied. Even when they comply, like, oh, he should have complied.
Until
Oh,
you
he
comply.
shouldn't have talked back. And it's like all these things are completely legal under our law,
Yeah.
the Constitution.
They literally have like individuals following all the rules, all the steps that you follow when you encounter a police officer, and they still get shot. I think you remember that. I think it was a teacher, a special ed teacher, whose student had like ran away
Yeah.
from the group, and I think someone called from the neighborhood because they found him doing a lot of crazy stuff around their neighborhood,
Yeah.
and the teacher was trying to find him, and obviously they found the kid, but by the time they found him, the police officer had him surrounded. And obviously the teacher was African American. They said, "Look, I'm the teacher. He's a special ed student. He has problems. I'm just here to calm him down. He's one of my students. Blah blah blah." And the police officer was so under so much stress that he was telling the teacher not to do anything, to put his hands up. And then obviously, then the teacher's life became a threat. I mean, it became something that he had to, uh, deal with the police officer. And the police officer got so stressed out. He's like, "No, you had to put your hands up, do everything I told you." So the teacher saw the problem right now, right? That he had encountered. It wasn't just his student's life at risk, but it was also his, right? So now he was beginning to do everything what the police officer was telling him to do, and he did everything. He complied with everything, and he was already down on the floor with his hands up. And I don't know why the police officer shot him.
Yeah.
Shot him in the leg.
Yeah. So it was it was a student. It was at a hospital, like a special facility.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a mentally ill patient. Yeah, and the guy was sitting on the ground with his hands up, like maybe like 200 feet, no weapons, away from the police officer. Like, there's no way this guy was a threat at all. You sitting there, hands up, and the police officer shot him anyway.
And even the guy said, "Why do you shot me? I follow everything."
Right. And yeah, even on the news, it was just like he was having an interview on the news, and he was like, "I don't understand why he shot me. Like, I wasn't even close to my hands were straight up in the air."
Yeah.
And for some strange reason, these mass killers, they'll just get out and say, "I have a bad day," get Burger King, all this stuff, taken alive, and people are just like, "This is some BS right here."
Yeah, I think the most recent videos when I think that second sergeant lieutenant, I think, got stopped by the police.
Yeah,
because right, and then
you had it's actually funny because you had so I think like a week before the kid got shot by mistake with a taser. You had a judge, a white judge, who I think he was doing drugs, literally let the police on a high-speed chase, and they let him go. They're like, "Oh, hey, see you later, judge." Yeah. It's just like that's crazy. Like,
it's a huge difference in how people get treated. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
And obviously that's like a big, like that's a huge, like, come on, that's so you could easily see the discrepancy between how they deal with like white kids or the white counterparts in society or minorities like African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians.
Yeah, I mean, you remember, like, this is the last one to really, really strike it home, which is what you see is like the affluenza kid, the kid who was rich. He got drunk, got behind the wheel of a car, hit four kids, which is a capital offense in Texas, right? Because this is what it was in Texas. He went to court, said, "Oh," his lawyer said, "Hey, he's rich. He doesn't understand the consequences of his actions."
Yeah.
The judge agreed. He got off for probation for killing four kids. Okay. He skipped bail and ran to Mexico with his mom. Got caught again. It got no consequences. So he killed four kids. Essentially, nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Slap in the wrist. Oh, you don't do it again, kid.
Slap on the wrist.
Don't drink and drive.
And then always the contrast. Another perfect example. The woman in Florida, she was getting abused by her husband. Shot a warning shot in the air, right, just to get her husband to stop beating her. She got life in prison. But in California, you had a white girl who went to Stanford to be a doctor, literally planned out the murder of her boyfriend, killed him, and the judge said, "Oh, she has a whole life ahead of her. We can't put her in jail." Think about it, right? So no murder got you life in prison, okay, but a murder got you free.
Yeah,
like it's got you set free. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think the lady in Florida was black, right?
Yeah, lady in Florida was black.
Yeah,
life in prison for a warning shot that hit nobody. She didn't even injure anybody. and she got life in prison. But the lady who literally did first degree murder, like first degree murder, the worst offense in probably the world, right? In every country in the world, had a whole life ahead of her, so she should be set free.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people by now.
And she was
a
like,
lot of people by now will be saying, "Oh, the laws are different in California than in Florida." I'm just like, come on, bro.
Not that much different. No, Florida. Thing is, Florida has stand your ground, but for some strange reason, it applied to a black lady. Like, think about it. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the certain laws are made.
California has a castle doctrine. Yeah, California has a castle doctrine, which is kind of like stand your ground, but it essentially means that you don't have the right to retreat.
Hey, welcome, Max. I'm glad you're here for the live podcast recording. Anyways, yeah. I know essentially what you're saying. Like a lot of people are getting away with it, and it's a system, but there has to be a completely turnover, and you have to start from scratch.
Yeah,
but people don't want to do that because they're so used to the system they live in right now, and to do a complete overhaul is almost impossible by these standards, I guess.
I mean, I think that's the thought that makes it impossible, right? We say, "Oh, it's too late now," makes it impossible to change it. It's never too late.
I think it needs a lot of time for it to come to those senses, but I think if we eventually get there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It'll eventually get there, but when you say it takes a lot of time, it's like it only takes as much time as there is will to change it.
Right? Yeah, but like right now, we can barely get anything done through the House of Representatives, or we have literally have a Democratic party that barely wants to get anything done. I think Joe Biden right now, he's like, nah, I don't want to legalize marijuana. That's too much. I was like, bro, a lot of states already legalized it.
Yeah,
you're falling behind.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing, man. We're governed by people who are just from a different time. Yeah. I mean, these people are like 3 generations behind us.
Yeah. Unfortunately. But yeah, anyways, what are you gonna say?
I said, don't worry, it'll be our turn. Next thing you know, we'll be like pass the laws, like 90s music was the best.
90%. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next topic. It seems like trans kids are being banned from sports in Florida, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not just Florida; it's all over the country, which is dumb. But yeah,
and in Florida, there's a specific case, right? There's like they're actually checking kids' genitals to make sure they're not trans, right?
Yeah. So essentially, what's anyway? So essentially, what they're doing is they didn't do it yet, but they passed the law to the House of Representatives passed the law in Florida, passed the law where it would make it okay for them to question a minor's biological sex, and then they can also force them to go to the doctor to get a note, and so they can check it. So they can essentially check it on the school ground, and they can check it. They have to bring a doctor's note, like reaffirming it. If that makes sense. Yeah. And so it's like it's ridiculous. Like it's completely ridiculous.
I mean, I understand what's the concern about allowing trans people into a specific sport, especially like imagine having a dude going through. And I think Dave Chappelle gave a great example. Imagine LeBron James deciding to do a sex operation and say, you know what? Fuck the NBA. I'm gonna go to the WNBA where I could get like 1,000 points and break records like crazy.
The thing is, like the way I have to say when people still bring up that kind of stuff is, who does that? I mean, okay, fair enough. There are decent people who do it. Don't get me wrong. Okay, so do that. But the thing is that who really cares is what I should probably say. Bro. Like I know I don't care.
I know you don't, but there's a lot of people that do.
But the thing is like at the end of the day, this is sports. Okay, this is just sports. It's not that serious.
Then if you're gonna do that, might as well. No. Hold on. If you're gonna do that, might as well just mix both and just allow men compete against women, and say it is fair.
It is fair.
No, I mean, if from your point of view,
yeah.
But I mean, fuck, we could annihilate every sport, if we compete against women.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe not. Okay.
I mean, it's maybe like
Come on,
that's the
Kenneth.
thing, right?
I've never said they cannot compete.
Because the thing is,
But
right?
come on,
It's
man.
like because the way I see it is simple, right? It's let's say that's true, right? Because I guarantee you there are plenty of women in the world who play basketball way better than I can.
Yeah.
But I think that's the point, right? It's like you're always gonna have people who are gonna go overboard on something, right? On something. Like some people are gonna just put that much time and dedication into it, right? And I understand that it's not if in that world of sports that it may not entirely be fair to have someone who goes out there and just dominates something. But the thing is, the way I see it is that it's just a sport. All right. It's not that deep. Like it's not like a sport is gonna change the world. Right. And then two, most people didn't even care about these sports prior to this incident in the first place.
We have an entire Olympic system based on just sports, bro. Come on.
Okay. But at the Olympics, they have mixed events.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it would be. I think there's a story behind it, right? There's this girl who was like completely crying about the fact that she was like top of the track team, top of the track meets, and all that stuff. She was breaking records, right? Okay. But then this dude who was getting like sixth place on the men's team,
right,
went to the transition and became now he or she was allowed to compete with the rest of the girls. Okay. But that dude fucking wrecked. He started like getting first place, and this girl said, "You know what? I'm fine with it. I'm gonna compete against her, and I'm gonna beat him or beat her or whatever." And she couldn't. As much as hard work she put in, she could not compete against the guy who had to transition to a girl. So I was like, how fair is that for a woman? As much as she tried to work hard to prove that she could,
here's my question.
She could barely compete.
So here's my question. Prior to your camera's messed up.
Yeah.
Prior to this incident happening and this law being passed, did you care about that girl in Florida on her track team?
I mean, I did care about the situation. Obviously, if you put it like that, obviously, like how much are you really gonna care about that girl crying about it? Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I understand that.
Because that's the thing.
Yeah, I know South Park made an episode, Max. Yeah, I get it.
I think the thing we have to really like look at is what
it's hilarious. By the way,
what makes sex and gender, right? What determines that, right? Because people are looking at all these instances, but they never really think about the actual biological things behind it, right? There are some women, right? Well, first of all, sports are always going to be unfair. Okay, like there are some people. It's like, is it fair that someone who's short has to compete against someone who's tall for basketball? No, they didn't have any control over how tall they were going to be. It's not their fault, but it's not the tall person's fault for being tall. They just happen to be tall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's just like some women produce more testosterone than other women. That's a fact, right? And sometimes it's to the point where it flags for being steroids, but it's not. That's just how it is. Like, and when it comes to life in general, right? There's so many variances there that you can't really put a limit. That's why do you think it's so hard for them to pass laws like this?
Yeah,
and because it's like who gets cut out and who doesn't get cut out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, if you say, hey, your testosterone has to be within this acceptable amount for a woman, and then a woman comes along and she's like, well, my testosterone is outside of that limit, she's just as much of a woman, right? And we're not even talking about transgender people, we're talking about women. She's just as much of a woman as anyone else. All right, but her testosterone just happens to be abnormally high for a woman, but that's not because it's not her fault. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But what I'm saying is that people are taking a basic definition of what should be a man and a woman.
I'm sure
and they're trying to apply it to everybody.
There are special occasions like that. Like you just mentioned that.
But what I'm saying is that,
but like allowing a dude going against woman. That's like, recently, you know what happened, Kenneth? The United States has the best soccer team in the world.
Okay.
They're so good. Obviously, they have won the World Cup back to back 3 times, or by three times in a row. Right?
Okay.
They're that good. So, but then this same team went against I think it was the team, the men's
A high
team.
school boys team. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
know what
think it
you're
was
talking
like
about.
15 to 17-year-olds
Yeah.
national team for the men,
Okay.
and the men beat them. The national
All
team
right.
of the women, old
Okay.
woman. So you want them to compete like
But
it's just unfair, and the way it
but the
is.
thing is that's also unfair because you're saying that these are one-off events, but that was a one-off event.
But even then, like, come on,
What do you mean? Come on,
come on.
it's one of
Biologically speaking, we're like it's really unfair.
but the thing is that it's like who's to determine if it's unfair or not? Like see, that's the thing. Is like because you keep saying fair, fair, fair. Like this is a fair thing. It's like sports were never fair. Football is about the biggest people. Basketball is about the tallest people. Like it's not like
Okay.
every man in the world
No,
competes in these
I mean,
sports
don't get me wrong.
fairly.
There's some short people that could play those games. I mean, those sports and whatnot.
But those are one-off events, right?
But no one of events. What the hell?
But,
Like in soccer, you could have tall, short, medium
okay,
people.
but
The
is that
same
the
thing
only
in
sport in the
basketball. Same
world?
thing in sports. Huh?
But in basketball, who's mostly there?
Those-
6'1", 6'2", 6'3",
No, no,
6'4",
but
6'5".
you have short men. You have some short men here. I
And
mean that, and that's
in
like
some
average
cases you have,
6 feet.
but the thing is, some cases you have women beating men. Am
When?
I wrong?
When?
Because there's actually
When?
I remember like in the early 2000s, mid 2000s,
Mm,
you had a wrestler, it was a female wrestler, where
okay.
she was really good at wrestling. And in her weight class, she was beating boys in her weight class. She was
Okay.
natural born female, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beating men, beating boys because they weren't really men, and in wrestling, a muscle sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things that the things that you're saying could never happen. She was doing it, and then
Okay.
I remember another one around the same time where it was a girl on a football team, and she was
Mm-hmm.
competing just like everyone else. And she was talking
Okay.
about how she had to earn their respect and stuff. So like you
Yeah.
keep saying that, oh, it's a one-off thing, but sometimes a one-off thing happened, but you never give any
Bro,
credence to the opposite, but
have
it's
that
always
same
one way.
girl go against him, put him in the line. She's gonna get fucked up.
She was on the line.
She wasn't in the line. No, hell no. Maybe okay, I'm sure she was playing JB. She wasn't playing
Okay.
a senior because I
She was in
had
high
a
school.
no. In high school, we had a female athlete who played with us in the same team, but she only played with JB with the scrawny
Okay.
kids, bro. She
Okay,
could
but
only
see,
with the scrawny kids.
but you
Obviously,
just
you're
said
not have
that.
them
But
playing
the
against
thing
like
is,
360 pound man.
but you just said that these things don't happen. But you just gave an example of how they can happen.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's really unfair because obviously, let's say if men go and train as much as they can and do the same thing with a woman, you think it's gonna be fair? And they're gonna have it. Men, obviously, they're gonna have a biological advantage.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna tell you that every woman is gonna beat every man or even compete against every man. Okay, but at the end of the day, it could you could have crossover where it works. And so what I'm telling you is that having these laws where it blatantly blanket statements every last thing that every last person will have to do is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like because like I get what you're saying, right? Oh, like on average, you're right. A man is going to beat a woman in sports, okay, in certain sports, right? But but that's not the problem here. The problem is that these things are a blanket across the board. This is how you have to do X. This is how you have to do Y. It's like I tell people all the time, like biology, biology in general, actually, is just not that clear cut sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there could be, things that happen in between. Like what Max said.
Yeah. So Max, okay. So for those people who are listening to the podcast right now, Max, one of our followers says, "Male or female do not take advantage in sport. It is about finding the human that has the physical and mental condition that best fit the sport." And what do you think about this?
Me?
Obviously, I mean, if you say that, yeah. I mean, when it comes to the point that McKenna is trying to make, yeah, there's gonna be females that or individuals that go on beyond and could beat anyone if they put their minds into. Right? Obviously, there's
I
gonna
mean,
be those cases.
I
And
mean, not like,
and I'm not saying that females cannot compete against men. They can if they want to.
no,
But
because
I'm
what I'm
just saying
saying
there's
is,
a disadvantage here.
but the thing is, what I'm saying is that there was never fairness in sports to begin with. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason why only like what 10% of the world is over 6 feet. Yeah, over 6 feet. It's like 90% of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. Like, they're looking for certain people. Certain people clearly have advantages in certain sports. People who are bigger have a better advantage in football, American football.
Mm-hmm.
People who are taller have advantage in basketball, but no one seems to care about any of those things. It's only now that they find something that they're uncomfortable with that it becomes an issue. It's like that's why I
I
say
think
like no one cared about this female athlete in Florida on a track team until just this week.
no, I mean I think this has been an ongoing issue. Even like I think it's the MMA where they're having I think it was they allowed this transgender athlete in Brazil compete against a woman, and my God, she fucking
I thought he backed
destroyed her.
out.
No, he had some fights, but
Wow.
those he was after they saw the results, it was like, you know what, I don't think you should be here, bro. He beat the crap out of them. I was not even funny. I got pissed off because like, why do you allow this to happen in the first place? I understand you want to be progressive about the issues about
I mean,
allowing trans.
but I
Uh
also think it comes down to at the end of the day, if if you have a transgender woman who wants to compete with women, and at the same time, the other half of the equation, you have women who are willing to compete against the transgender woman. I don't see anything wrong with
oh,
that.
but that's different though.
But no, but that's the thing, because it's like how many? Because for every one girl, right, in high school, or whatever, who's complaining about it, do anyone look at the girls who aren't complaining about it? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, she's complaining about it, but how many are not complaining about it? You never hear their story because they don't give a shit. No one really gives a shit. It's just that
Well,
they wanna attack trans people. That's what it is.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there gonna be some people who's like, you know what, I don't like trans. I don't think they should be allowed in sports. I don't think they should be allowed to be human beings. I'm sure there's those kind of people, and
Yeah.
I think this rule that they have, in Florida, was like they want to just ban trans people in general. Is bad, and I'm against it. But I think I don't know why. For me, it's just like when you put men competing against women, if there's a clear biological disadvantage
No,
there.
no,
But
no.
if they want to, combine them, and if they're all okay with that, then by all means.
Because personally, I think there's way more behind human biology than just this person has a penis, this person has a vagina. It's not always clear cut like that,
No,
right?
it's not about that
There's
I'm
there's
talking about, but
no, but what I'm saying is that that's what this law is doing. It's like saying it's just a raw blanket statement against the whole thing. If you have a penis, you go X. If you have
yeah,
a
yeah,
vagina, you
yeah.
go Y, and that's it. Like, there's no consideration for the actual biological factors that make up a person being good at sports.
Mm-hmm.
Like Max said, if some people just don't have the drive, they don't have the drive. It's like I told you before. I can go, like, even though like a lot of people are sitting here and say, "Hey, man, you're a man, you're gonna beat most women at sports." I guarantee you right now, if I go against any woman who's been playing golf for a while, basketball, or any sport like that where they actually give a shit, that I can tell you they're gonna beat me, because I'm not good at those sports. That simple. Now
Mm-hmm.
I'm a large person. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a pretty big person. I probably beat most people when it comes to things like football. All right, let's be honest. But the thing is that I think that in itself is the unfair part about sports. Is that when I was in high school, I was big as shit, right? I was still tall. And who did they go after? Whenever they wanted football players, who did they go after? They went after people like me
Mm-hmm.
over and over again. They didn't go after people who weren't that big. They went after people like you, who was 5'11", right, 5'10", and they went after people like me, who's 6'1", big as shit, fast, and could take a hit and deal hits. That's what they went
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
They didn't go after the dude who was 4'9". They
Yeah.
didn't go after the dude who was 5'2". They went after the biggest dudes because they're like, hey, that's what this sport is about. That it was always the case, and that's why I think it's unfair. Like, there was never any fairness in sports from the beginning. Like, that's why I don't take it that seriously. Like, that's why when I say no one really cares and it's just a sport, it's because like people talk about this fairness like it was always there. It wasn't. It just isn't. Like it
Yeah,
never was.
and I understand. Like, that's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing about sports as well. Anyone could compete. Anyone could become better. Anyone could be good. You get me? And I do apply that to the same to women and men, but it's just like, for me, it's just a big difference there. But when it comes to this topic alone, when in states like Florida, they're banning trans people from just being part of sports, or going to one bathroom or the other is totally wrong, and I'm completely against it. Obviously, even going to the extent of checking everyone's gender just to make sure that there's no trans people going to one sport or the other is crazy.
Yeah,
And
of course it
yeah.
is.
Anyways, since we're talking about transgender people, let's talk about Caitlyn Jenner.
Terrible transition. Terrible transition.
I mean, since we're
I mean,
talking
it's
about,
accurate, but that's a terrible transition from what we're about to talk about when it
but
comes
come
to
on,
Caitlyn
okay,
Jenner.
let's talk about why she is trending right now, and the reason is, she wants to, she wants to become a governor of California. She says she's gonna run for office, and a lot of people first the reaction is like, hell no, right? It's because not just because of her political point of views, but I think it also has to do with she's just terrible. Um, um, you know, Being a leader, or she has her own personal history where I think she ran over some people and she got away with it.
Oh yeah, she hit that one guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, but oh yeah. I mean, there's many reasons why you don't want Caitlyn Jenner to be president.
First of all, because she's a
I mean, not
celebrity.
president, governor. My bad.
She's a
To be
celebrity.
governor. Well, a celebrity, and
She has no
seems to
experience.
know nothing of politics. Yeah,
Yeah. She has zero
uh,
experience.
yeah. So going back a little bit. So she's running for governor in California, but well, she's attempting to run for governor in California. And the reason why is because ever since the pandemic started, Gavin Newsom has gotten who is our current governor, has gotten some hot water because he imposed all these restrictions on restaurants and indoor dining and stuff.
Yeah.
But he was caught meeting with political donors in a restaurant during the pandemic where he literally himself said you couldn't do that. He wasn't wearing a mask. And so people saw that and they thought this guy is a complete hypocrite.
Yeah.
He's corrupt. Like you could not have a better picture of corruption. I'm not gonna lie. Like you couldn't really have a better picture of corruption than that moment. And he got caught. And so as soon as that happened, recall. So in California history, there's only really been one recall that succeeded, and that was against Gray Davis in 2004. And Arnold Schwarzenegger won that race.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Gavin Newsom, it doesn't seem like there's that much will there. Yeah, they got the signatures to do it, but the thing is, it's California. Like you get 1 million signatures for anything, pretty much. And so we don't know if he's going to lose. It's much more up in the air. And if Caitlyn Jenner, which is obviously his biggest opponent, that's why we're talking about her. I don't think anyone wants her to be anywhere near the presidency because one, it's California, and last time I remember, besides Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't think we ever put a Republican in office. Oh well, before that was Reagan, obviously, but after Arnold Schwarzenegger, there was been no Republican. Two, she backs Trump, and pretty much everyone in California hates Trump.
Yeah,
and because he attacked the state directly, especially after the wildfires.
Yeah,
and so,
and the reasons why she's running as well. It's just like, why? Who is gonna? I mean, obviously we have the entire Orange County who is in favor of those things, but
yeah, she's running for attention. All right, that's what it is. It's like this is what that family does. Jenner / Kardashian family does. Okay, they get attention by doing stunts like this. All right, they've always done it. XYZ, and so to some degree it may be sincere. Okay, but the question you have to ask yourself is, why are you wasting everyone's time? Like just don't do it. Like it's not worth it. I mean, unfortunately, because she's a celebrity, there's a decent chance that she could win because celebrities tend to win. Trump won in the United States. Arnold Schwarzenegger won in California, which was unheard of at the time, especially because he was Republican. But he is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and so it's like it's one of those things where it becomes like, how far will the celebrity status take you? Now, to be fair, she is a new era celebrity, which is like she's just kind of there. She didn't really do anything to make herself a celebrity, but exist.
Yeah.
So I don't. Maybe people are not going to really appeal the same way like Arnold Schwarzenegger was a movie star, and Donald Trump was also a movie star, and etc. So I guess we'll see. But I hope she doesn't.
If it was Kanye West, the one saying I'm a run for governor of California, I would say, oh shit, there's a chance of him actually winning the competition, because there's actually some people who are willing to vote for him during the general election on 2020, and
just remember, you gotta remember that during the was the presidential election 2016? Maybe it was 2012. These nuts, the farm boy from Virginia.
Oh yeah,
he got like 12% of the votes.
So. It was when Hillary clicked around,
right? So he got 12% of the votes. Let's not. Yeah. People will vote for a lot of stuff. Don't you can't trust these polls.
I think people will vote for Kanye, and that would be something like, oh, you know what, Kanye could do this shit. Plus, he's going through a divorce right now. Kim K. So
I think he could. I think Kanye could, because he checks a lot of boxes that I think Republicans think matter more. Like, for some strange reasons, like Republicans think Democrats voted for Barack because he was black. Instead, people they didn't understand that even Democrats didn't really like Hillary Clinton. Also, at the same time, he's been, I support Trump pretty much the whole Trump presidency. He's been supporting Trump, met with Trump a few times, is also a celebrity like Trump. So I think Kanye West could get the conservative vote, but you have to realize there's a lot of racists in the Republican Party.
So
they're just not going to vote for him.
Max says if Jenner wins, they're going to endorse their own makeup products instead of a Goya. Sure. Yeah, for sure.
That's for sure.
For sure. It's gonna be like fucking Donald Trump and fucking bring Goya products to the fucking White House and put him in display whenever he did a fucking live.
I told you, Trump was great for business. Great for business. Well,
he got away with so many things.
He was great for private business, not for American business.
Mm-hmm.
So as a country, he was terrible.
I mean, that's why a lot of people endorse him.
Right. Before, if you're a company who got on his good side, you got amazing brand deal. Now, people didn't like Trump, so maybe he didn't help you, but because there was a boycott of Goya. Right?
Oh yeah. Sure. I tried to boycott it at my household. Yeah. I couldn't beat him. My mom, as Hispanics, had so much loyalty with band product. I mean, with products like that, and my mom was like, "I don't care. I don't care." I
mean, to be honest, I can see why it'd be difficult, because there's not really a brand like that in the United States. Like, if it was like Central America, you'd be like, yeah, F that. Like, what I'm saying? Like, because you find it anywhere. But in the United States, it's like you can't really find it like that. It's pretty much Goya or nothing.
Sometimes they have the cheaper prices, so I was like, I don't care about their political. It's cheap. So it is what it is. That's the story we had with Kelly and Jenner trying to run for governor of California. Now let's move on to in another related story with obviously with here in LA. It seems that when it comes to the COVID-19 cases, California has become the state with the lowest rate when it comes to COVID-19 cases in the whole United States. He says that the agency says that California's case rate is about 38.7 cases per 100,000 people. Currently, Michigan, the state with the highest case rate, is at 390.2, with the overall case rate across the United States as 120.4 cases per 100,000 people. Damn. So we're doing pretty well. I think it's about 2,000 cases per day, right?
Yeah.
Here in Cali right now. The peak level was around January, the beginning of this year. We had about 45,000 people.
Yeah. The good part as well was that the death rate from COVID has actually dropped below 1%. I think it's like 0.00065. It used to be 5%, right? 5 to 8%.
Yeah.
Now it's like less than 1%, which is still bad because you don't want anyone to die, but it's better, much, much better. Now, the thing is that in California, they've been really good. Maybe because of the recall. Maybe we needed the recall to get the government in gear, right? But
Yeah.
we've actually been vaccinating pretty heavily in California. I mean, I just got the first vaccine like last week, and it was like no line. It was just pretty much. I was just like, I was surprised that no
Where
one
did
was
you go,
there.
by the way?
I went to the forum
Oh,
in
okay.
New
Right
England. Yeah,
here. Yeah.
right. And so like there was like no line. It took the whole process took like maybe 30 minutes. And half that was me waiting to see if there was any side effects. So it was really quick. And like they were just kind of just chilling there because
Yeah.
it was just happened so quickly.
Yeah.
And then like it was I couldn't believe it myself. So I was assuming
I
that
can't believe it.
everyone was gonna get a vaccine. That's where I was at, right? I was thinking like
you,
everyone's gonna
you,
get the vaccine. There's no way you're not gonna get the vaccine.
you thought
And
it was
how many
gonna be
people are in
like
California?
that one time we went to the Dodger Stadium.
Right, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
but there was no line. I was like, geez, you could at this point, like, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. You probably just walk up and get a vaccine. Like, I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
yeah, yeah.
surprised.
I went with my mom recently. I think nearby. I think it was the Kaiser Permanente in Cadillac near Washington
Yeah,
Boulevard, and it was pretty easy. Like my mom just got there. There was no line. The first time she went there, like a month ago, obviously there was a line, but this time for the second shot, there was no line. She just got out, and like in maybe 20 minutes, she was in and out. She got the shot, she got out. Obviously, she waited for like 10 minutes and whatnot, and then she came back. So
yeah.
it's pretty easy. Obviously, it's becoming easier. The process on the waiting time is it's not as bad as it used to be at the beginning.
Right. I mean, I think this is a moment. And no, he didn't have a bad reaction. It was just the way they gave it to him was messed him up.
Who?
But the thing is, for Andres, it's because Max had
Oh,
it.
Andres,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so, I think people need to look at this moment right here. This last year, okay, and you saw what we were capable of doing if as a country if we all work together, right? We did some pretty amazing stuff. Like we have so many vaccines that we can afford to give it away to other countries, which we should.
Oh,
Okay. and people got vaccinated. We gave everyone enough money to survive. I don't see the. I mean, this is probably a perfect example of what the United States is capable of
yeah,
if
yeah.
we decide to actually work
Do the
together
right
and
thing.
care, right, and do the right
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
because
Well, talking about the right thing, you said recently, like, oh, we should give out the formula, right?
right, we
To
should give
be
out the
so,
vaccine. Yeah.
yeah. So usually what they do is they give the formula so they could make their own medicine at home,
Yeah.
and they just could like give it to everyone. But the United States right now, the billionaires, obviously we got Elon Musk and Bill Gates saying, "Hell no, we should
Right.
not give it to like poor countries. They could do their own. They could just buy it from us."
Yeah. See, that's the thing. In a pandemic, you can't really afford to be dumb like that because
But they're
pandemic spread.
dumb.
Pandemic spread, and the more a virus spreads, the more it gets to adjust and mutate and do all that stuff. And so you want to kill it quickly. Like you need to get it out quickly before it can do all that stuff. Because once it builds up a resistance to the vaccine, or once it builds up a resistance, or it mutates enough to where the vaccine doesn't work
But
anymore.
that's business right there, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, to
They
be
could always
honest,
make another vaccine.
I mean, yeah, but are we really trying to be locked down for another year?
Kenneth, they don't care. They see this as just money signs everywhere.
Of course, because it's like because you had that strain from Brazil recently where it was like, oh, the Brazil strain. I think even the South Africa strain of the virus is actually resistant to the vaccines or somewhat resistant to the vaccines.
Yeah,
And you can't really afford that to happen in a pandemic because, like I said, once it gets to a certain point, even if you got vaccinated, you're right back to square one.
yeah.
And so I say just give it away, especially in Latin America, because that's where a good chunk of the travel is going to come from. Because hate to burst your bubble, but the United States is right next to Central and Latin America, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like if you don't give it to them, they're more likely to come here with the virus because they can walk here versus having to take a plane here.
It seems like we never learned from those lessons,
Yeah, I mean that's we're not the thing is
Look
that
at what's going on in India right now.
Right. But the thing is, the United States is that for some reason, the United States and Canada likes to pretend we're separate from Mexico and everything down, but we're in the same hemisphere. And like I said, most of our trade is with them too.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like I'm like we could pretend like we're not on the same continent as they are, but we are. And so we have to help them or it hurts us.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
It's incredible. It's incredible to me that Florida has been doing everything bad, and so far they're doing like okay.
No, it's like I said, right? Of course they're gonna do okay. Because the thing is when it comes to pandemics, when you let it go on, right? It'll kill the people it's gonna kill. Like you see what I'm saying? Like you're gonna get over it faster. You're gonna get over the pandemic faster because the damage is gonna get done faster. Like that's it. So what happened in Florida was that the pandemic, we covered it a couple months ago. It went completely out of control, killed an assload of people, and now it's done. Like you see what I'm saying? Like it just like a wave washed over it, and so now they're finished. You see what I'm saying? Because the people who were going to kill are going to build up an immunity or somewhat of an immunity, and the people it's going to kill are now dead, right? So who is it going to do damage to now? No one.
I mean, it didn't kill that many people in Florida, but there were obviously we did talk about some numbers here and there that was going up. But yeah, but in Florida, like right now, they are going to the extreme of not even wearing masks.
Yeah.
Anymore. So I was like, they even having like for months now. They've been having like parties at the beaches, in the boats, and their private boats going across the fucking around the Florida and whatnot. People just having fun and then not caring about what's going on out there.
Yeah.
But that's Florida. And here, I'm just glad that here in California, obviously, we have done our due diligence, and the cases of COVID-19 haven't gone you have gone down immensely. Hopefully, this what happens next is not what I think it would happen. Hopefully, they don't just get rid of the restrictions on not wearing mask. I think they should still limit people in certain businesses and certain restaurants.
Yeah.
I think we should keep wearing masks all the way until this is done.
Yeah.
That way, if we just do that, we could keep just low cases of COVID as it is as right now, right?
I mean,
but if we do get rid of it and they say fuck it, we're done, then this shit is gonna get out of control.
Personally, I think there could have been a cure for this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think there could have been a cure for this, but we chose not to. Because the thing is, like, remember, there's more money in treating it than curing it, right? And so now I don't know if you heard, but recently they're talking about you might need a booster shot every couple months. And the COVID vaccine, the COVID cure vaccine, whatever you want to call it, well, it's not a cure, it's just a vaccine. They're free, but they never said the booster shots are going to be free. You see the issue?
Yeah.
So if you need a booster shot every year, right?
Yeah.
There's the money right there. It's kind of curious. It is very much speculation, but I wouldn't put it past
they're gonna have something. The pharma was gonna have a way how they could be able to get more money down the line.
Right.
It's not like we just not give this for free because the sake of human, the sake of curing everyone else, and because of the pandemic or not. But right now we had to just find a way how to, this work for ourselves. I could make more money as much as we can.
Yeah,
that's what they're fighting right now. As much as they're fighting so really really hard not to give the actual vaccine. What's it called? The actual vaccine to poor countries and whatnot.
Right.
Because they see this like no, but they actually willing to pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
So why would you give it for free?
Yeah, I mean they like the people they just don't get it. Like they don't get it that a virus is a living-ish thing that is trying it. So like just as much as you're trying to survive the virus is trying to survive you. Like what I'm saying? Like it's trying to adjust itself to you and everyone around you so it can continue to infect people like you. And it's gonna do damage in that process.
Yeah.
But people don't understand that part.
Yeah, because even in countries like China and Japan that had completely get rid of it, there's still some cases that are beginning to spread out again.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
because
this is not done until it's done.
it started to evolve into different variants around the world. Different people had different diets, different climates, different environments in which they lived in. So as it moved into those environments, it started changing to better adjust to those environments. So that's why you end up with those different strains. That's why you have the UK strain, the Brazilian strain, the South African strain. I think you had like 3 variants in California, and it was just like
And in New York as well.
right. So you keep having these variants because it keeps changing to match the environment. So if you don't, the longer it takes you to get rid of it, the more likely it is to change again and it come back.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't afford to let like greedy corporations dictate this, because if it comes back, it hits you again. Like it's not like it's just gonna magically like skip around you because you got the vaccine.
Yeah.
It's gonna go and it's gonna affect you again.
Yeah.
It is gonna hurt you. It might hurt you more the next time, because I think the Brazilian strain is more deadly than the rest, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it has
There's
a
a lot of
higher
people.
chance of killing you. Yeah, and so that's the Brazilian strain now. If Brazil never gets the vaccine, you don't know what it could be like in like a year or two, where they're still fighting it off, and then it could be like 3 times as deadly. It goes from like 10% to like 30%
Yeah.
death rate, and then you're in real trouble, right? So it's like just give them the vaccine, like don't waste everyone's time.
Yeah. So I mean, unfortunately, I don't see this problem going on. I mean, I don't see the COVID-19 issue going off anytime soon. People are gonna keep fucking up. COVID strains are gonna become a very relative issue
Yeah,
down the line. Uh, People are gonna begin to travel again just because they got the COVID-19 shots and whatnot.
right,
And look at right now, and people are just because they're getting the COVID-19 shots, they're beginning to go out again and saying,
right.
"Fuck it, we don't have to. I'm immune again."
Right, yeah. The COVID shot doesn't make you immune. It doesn't even stop you from catching it. It doesn't even stop you from dying from the virus. It just lessens the severity
The
of the
blow,
virus.
yeah. Like
Right.
if you
So
have to
like
get it now, you have some
right, you're less likely to die from it. You're less likely to
yeah,
feel severe symptoms from it. That's really
yeah,
what it does. It doesn't stop you from getting sick. It's like a flu. It's like the flu
hmm
shot. It's like it's there to help protect you from the hard damage of it, but it doesn't make you completely immune to it. So
yeah,
even with the
essentially,
vaccine, you're not immortal to the
yeah.
immune to the virus. It's just it just helps you out. It'll make you feel more comfortable, and yeah, it might make it easier for you to go out and do all that stuff too. But think about statistics, you never know what side you're gonna end up on. So
hmm
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
take that with a grain of salt.
All right, guys. It seems that we have run out of time for this podcast. I'm glad that Max came by and had a chat with us. You guys are always welcome to come to the live session that we're gonna have every either Sunday or Monday afternoon. We're gonna go live and record the whole podcast. So anyone is welcome to come and just chat with us, or maybe ask questions while we're having these conversations. Anyways, Kenneth, any last comments or anything you want to do? Anyone to say?
Yeah, it's just a sport. Get over
No, it's not.
it.
He's lying. So guys, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Political Peasants. It's gonna be on the screen, as you can see. All right, then. Peace, you guys. See you guys until next time.
Peace.
Take care.